Hi, welcome to PacBay. This is Scott Whitmore here to introduce a new product to you. Today I'd like to talk about the OmniArbor. This is a new patent-pending invention that came about through PacBay to assist in and really clean up the process of mounting a reel seat onto a blank. This new invention replaces the tape buildup and also can replace the foam arbors that are often used depending on your personal technique. This particular little piece is made of thermoplastic resin. It doesn't break down in water. Lots of neat features about that. It's some other characteristics of it. If you look real close, it's got self-centering fins in the center of it, so as you twist it down the blank, it's going to center the hole and center the reel seat onto the blank. And the last interesting feature about this, it's got a glue dam with a center hole in the middle of it. Now what that's for is you mount it on the blank and you put your epoxy in there. You fill it up, mount your reel seat, set the rod in the corner. You don't have to worry about all that epoxy leaking down your blank and onto your grip. Really tidy. Neat thing. Self-centering fins, a glue dam, waterproof, really great features. The benefits of this, besides being waterproof, is that it is much cleaner and much faster than foam arbors. There's no reaming because it adjusts to the size of the blank as you slide it down. There's no off-center bore. This thing will center the reel seat. If you're reaming your foam arbor and you get it off center, you actually have a crooked reel seat mounted onto your blank. This solves that problem. And the last thing is it creates an epoxy bridge. It doesn't glue the reel seat to the OmniArbor and then the OmniArbor to the blank. It creates a spot where the epoxy builds up and the bridge is direct from the blank to the reel seat, giving you an absolutely strongest bond. We're going to go into how we mount this, how we glue it up, and look at some of the rest of the process of using this neat little device. Hi, Scott here, back with you at PacBay. I'm going to finish up talking a little bit more about the OmniArbor, our new patent-pending device that greatly increases the speed, efficiency, and cleanliness of mounting reel seats to blanks. I talked a little bit about the features a minute ago about the new OmniArbor. It comes actually in 4 sizes, the 16, 17, 18, and 20. Now the sizes are fit particularly so that they will fit into the reel seat of their size. In this particular demonstration I'll be using a size 17 OmniArbor and a G17 reel seat. So we'll see that. The same applications, the same processes will apply for the 16s, 17s, 18s, and 20s. So if you see one size here, you're going to understand the process for all of them. First thing we'll do is go through a dry fit, and I'll show you kind of how the whole thing sets up, and then we'll come back and actually do some wet work. The OmniArbor slides onto the blank. Here's a quick little mock-up, a blank and a grip that's going to show you how this puts together. Pick up the OmniArbor, put the glue dam side down, or the glue dam side down, and slide it down your blank. It just slides down to about where your reel seat is. A couple little pinches to set it round, centered, right there. That's how fast one of your arbors gets mounted on the blank. Slick as the dickens. Your reel seat then slides down in the same way, slides over the top of that, sits right down against your cork, centered, gripped, no drip, no runs, slick as the dickens. Really fast. So now, the last step is you take one more OmniArbor. Again, start with the glue dam side down, slide it down the tip of the blank, and the last trick that you may need to do is tuck it in to the top of the reel seat. And slide it down. In this particular instance, I'm using a small piece of PVC pipe. I'm going to push it down just far enough to where I can have my glue dam built up inside there. Alright, that's dry fit. That's how long it took to mount my reel seat onto the blank, centered with the grip, no runs, no errors. Put my last bit of epoxy in here, stand it up in the corner, let the epoxy run down, create that bond. What a slick process. That's it. how fast, how clean. This is the way. Thank you. Hi, welcome back to PacBay. Scott here. We're actually going to go through the epoxy process of mounting a reel seat to a blank using the OmniArbor. In this instance, we'll be using the OA17, the OmniArbor 17, and a graphite reel seat, G17. Some other tools we have in place kind of ready to make it work well. Scissors, epoxy to be ready to stir. In this case, this is PacBay 5-minute epoxy hardman. Got a tongue depressor and a cup to stir it up in, and really that's about all it's going to take. So we'll go through a slick process here. Start with the mock-up. Got a blank, got a grip mounted on it. The next thing is I have the OmniArbor OA17. Slide it down from the tip with the glue dam down. Mount it about, my personal preference is about an inch above where the bottom of the reel seat is. Make sure it's going to get a good solid mount. Pinch that, make it round just a little bit. That OmniArbor is in place now. I always like to dry fit the bottom one to make sure that we're going to be in good shape. So, slide the reel seat down over the top of that, test it. That's right where I want it. That's the way I want the bond to be created. So, as we pull that off, occasionally it sticks in there, but that's not a problem. Stick the reel seat under the tip, pop it out, you're right back to it. What that's telling you is you have a really nice solid mount, so you're not going to have a lot of movement and things get off-centered. Back to it. Slide this down, set it on the blank about where I want it, about an inch up. That's my personal preference. You can use 2 OmniArbors or you can use 3. On the sizes 18 and 20, we recommend 3. On the 16 and 17, we recommend 2. Your personal preference, however you want to do it. So the first OmniArbor is set. Now I'll be mounting cutting up some and stirring the epoxy. I'll keep talking as we go through this. The process is actually quite simple. As we get this ready to go and it is stirred up and set, all I'll be doing is taking the epoxy, smearing it around the top fairly generously. What I want to do is have a lot of epoxy on the blank so that when I stand it up in the corner, that epoxy slides down and creates that solid bridge between the blank and the grip. If you can figure out the timing of this, this is only going to take a few minutes to mount this reel seat. Compare that then to the time it takes for a tape buildup, the time it takes to ream an arbor and try to get it centered, the time you're waiting for the arbor to dry so that you can put the reel seat on it. This is a much faster, much better way. Okay, so I've got a lot on here. It's ready to drip and run. We're going to get this going. Here we go. Here comes the reel seat. Coming right down this. Slides over the top of that. That's the bottom one. The next one, like I showed in the dry fit, comes down the top. Slides into place. Gets tucked in. Going to use a little device here that we've made that will tuck that down. I have it set down in here about a ½ inch. We can push it down a little farther if you want, but it's not necessary. This is about my personal preference here. So I know how long my foregrip is. What I'm not going to do is run the epoxy above that. My last step. Take the rest of the epoxy, put it into the top of your reel seat. While it's still liquid and running, it will set down in there and create that bridge, that strong bridge of epoxy from your blank directly to your reel seat, giving you the strongest possible connection. Much stronger than a tape dam, much stronger than a foam arbor that is connecting the two pieces instead of having the epoxy bridge directly from one to the other. Okay, so to take a quick peek, a close-up here, what you would see is, and what you will see, is a lot of epoxy setting at the top of this reel seat. And just like what I put in the bottom, it's settling down, creating that strong dam that reaches across. Now I have a little bit on the top that's going to be covered up by my top grip. That's it, right there. It's done. This is ready to sit in the corner and dry. You mounted a reel seat in just a couple of minutes. Think how fast that's going to speed up your production. Much cleaner. No foam dust around, no tape remnants running around. You don't have to worry about it getting water soaked if it drops in the lake or in the ocean or anywhere else and having your tape break down and your reel seat breaking loose. Excellent device, the OmniArbor. Thank you very much.